You're listening to Hawk Talk with former Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Play fake, going to roll right, dumps it off into the right flat to Michael Bumpus, who bounces off of one tackler, gets inside the 40, down to the 35-yard line.
Powered by Seahawks.com.
Matt pump fakes, looking to the goal line. He throws it into the end zone. Touchdown Seahawks! It's Michael Bumpus with a diving catch in the end zone. A 10-yard touchdown reception for Bumpus, and the kid out of Washington State has found himself a place on this team.
Now, here's your host, Nasser Kyobe.
Welcome into another edition of Hawk Talk. The Seahawks victorious, beating the Arizona Cardinals 16-6. We are broadcasting live from the Seahawks podcast studio, presented by Sony, the official partner of the Seattle Seahawks. And Bump, we've been gone for a little bit, okay? As most of the region was affected by this bomb cyclone, we were also impacted. It hit the VMAC, knocked out the power for a couple days. So we had a lot of good stuff to tell you. We would have predicted exactly what happened on Sunday.
You already know.
You know, we weren't able to bring that to you. We had the notes. We did it. But, Bump, it felt good to get this one done, man.
Yeah, man, 16-6. And we knew it started with the 49ers. You needed to get that win. Yep. So you start, hopefully, this snowball effect, and you get momentum. Defense is playing good, and they played good, man. So, yes, you needed this. They got her done. Avoided a 5-game home losing streak. Man. That would have been horrible. So thank you, football gods.
No, it was great. It's so much more. It changes our whole mentality of the week. Everything that you do when the Seahawks win, especially for us selfishly, doing a post-game show for 3 hours, it's a lot easier after a win. And it had been a long time since we had a good post-game show at home. So Seahawks getting it done in first place, all alone atop of the NFC West. Feels very, very good. Let's get into what happened against these Cardinals. What had happened?
See, what had happened was
On Hawk Talk.
Seahawks found a way to win a tough, hard-fought, ugly, nasty, grinder type of football game, and that's what division games are, Bump. They're hard to win, especially against a good opponent. The Arizona Cardinals came into the game, had won 4 games in a row, and this game was far from a shootout. Our coworker, Brian Walters, he predicted a shootout. That did not happen. The first 6 drives in this game ended in punts for both teams. But from the opening kickoff, this Seahawks defense, they came to play. Boye Mafe, Tyrese Knight, both got sacks on that first drive, forcing the Cardinals punt.
Yeah, nice to see to see Knight get on the board early, man, get that confidence going. The stunt that they ran with him and Ernest Jones was beautiful, too. You compromised the center. It was nice. But like you said, man, it was a defensive battle, man. After 6 consecutive punts, the Cardinals got on the board first. They went 6 plays, 33 yards, and Chad Riley kicked a field goal that made the score 3-0. The Seahawks were fortunate to only give up 3 points as Michael Wilson's touchdown was taken off the board after a holding penalty, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. nearly had a toe-tapping touchdown, but it was ruled out of bounds. The Cardinals would challenge that thing, but the call was upheld. And then after 2 punts, the Seahawks offense would finally get rolling after a 7-play, 61-yard drive, ending with a 3-yard touchdown pass from Geno to Jackson Smith and Jigba. That made the score 7-3. But the big play was JSN on that screen, man.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, he looked like he ran a 4-4 on that play. I watched the all-22. He was moving. Then I looked up the numbers. I go, he got to be running like 21 miles an hour. They give my man 19 miles an hour. Check your radar. Yeah. All right? He was moving, but it was big. JSN, once again, coming to big in the screen game.
Yeah, that screen game, that middle screen, whatever you want to call it, the couple different variations they've run this year, but they've had a ton of success, and I love what JSN's doing there. Huge middle screen by the Seahawks there. The Seahawks would force a punt on the next Cardinals drive, and both teams would head to the locker room, and the Seahawks up 7-3. So you're feeling confident.
Feeling good.
They were in control. You loved the way the defense was playing, and they carried that into the second half. On offense, the opening drive, the Seahawks had a promising start. Unfortunately, we had to punt after Geno got sacked on 3rd and 2. But the following possession, biggest play of the game, Cardinals were moving the ball. They had already gone 42 yards on 7 plays, setting up a 4th and 1. Now, this was at the Seahawks 40-yard line. The Cardinals went for it. It looked like the Seahawks had got to stop.
Yep.
Devin Witherspoon had a nice little breakup on a little slant. It was kind of a bang-bang play.
Everybody's hyped.
Everyone's hyped. It's loud in the stadium. But what we didn't see is Coach Mike McDonald had called the timeout before the play happened.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of groan. Everyone's like, oh, my God, we're going to have to stop him again. Well, I think it worked out, Bob.
It did work out. On that play, 4th and 1, you got Kyler Murray rolling out to the right side, looking to dump the football over the top. Witherspoon, the closing speed was crazy, closes down on him, and forces the errant throw. People are saying, oh, it's just a horrible throw. Well, the reason why it was a bad throw from Kyler Murray is because Spoon was right there, and he almost like just flicked it over the top, trying to get over the top. And Kobe Bryant, man, grabs that thing, takes it 69 yards to the house. That made the score 13-3. So third quarter, I walk around the stadium.
Right.
I happened to be walking around the stadium when that went down, and I'm in the end zone watching him run towards us. And I was a fan. You know, I'm with the press. I'm up in the press box. I got to be reserved. I got to let it all out and celebrate with the people. So that was cool.
No, definitely hyped on that. Huge play by Kobe Bryant and the Seahawks. That was huge. At that point, the game was in hand, right? You felt really good about it. The Seahawks would force a punt on the next drive. Thank you, Leonard Williams. We'll get to him most definitely. He had 2 sacks on 3 plays. Then that ensuing drive for the Seahawks offense. They're marching right down the field, putting together another drive, and you think they're going to put the nail in the coffin. It's done. Unfortunately, Geno Smith was intercepted in the end zone, giving life to the Cardinals. They would try to make things interesting, driving 11 plays for 76 yards, what would stall out in the red zone, having to settle for a field goal. That was the first time bump. All season, the Cardinals have failed to score a touchdown in a goal-to-go situation. They were 16 of 16, end of the day, 16 of 17. That made the score 13-6, still a one-possession game, though.
Yeah, that was big. The Hawks defensively did something to the Cardinals that have never been done before. So on the next drive, the Seahawks will put the game away with a 13-play, 49-yard drive. It took 8 minutes and 12 seconds off the clock. Woo! The Hawks will convert on a big third downs, man, setting up Jason Myers' field goal. That made the score 16-6 with 2 minutes left. The Cardinals would miss a field goal on the final drive. The Seahawks walked away with a hard-fought divisional win. Let's get it. They helped the number 5 rushing offense to only 49 yards on the ground, man. We do bold takes on the Bump and Stacey show. Right. Someone said the Hawks hold the Cardinals under 100 yards. And I thought, oh, okay. I don't think it's going to happen. I'll take a 105, 110. But it went down, man. They did a great job.
Well, you know, when something happens once, okay, maybe it can be a fluke. Something happens twice, I don't know. It happens the third time, that's a trend, and that's what's happening with the Seahawks defense. Coming into that, they had given up 150 yards rushing in 4 consecutive games. Now they've had 3 consecutive games of shutting running backs down. James Conner, 7 carries. Yeah. 8 yards. I mean, that dude can play some ball. He's had 300-yard rushing games this season. So definitely cool to see where the Seahawks defense is going at. Now it's time to highlight all the people who made plays, Playmakers.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Playmakers.
Show them what time it is! Holy catfish!
Usually we start with the quarterback, and we'll get to him, but I'd be remiss if I didn't start with Big Cat Leonard Williams, who had the best game of the Seahawks career without question, and probably the best game of a defensive lineman in the National Football League this season. Yeah. I mean, you look at this stat line, 6 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 3 TFLs, 1 pass defended, 4 QB hits, and like I said, best game we've seen in a Seahawks uniform. He took the game over. He was literally unblockable. I wrote that in my notes. Unblockable. That's all I put down because Leonard Williams, Big Cat, was balling.
Big Cat showed you why it's cool to go heavy on the bench press. Because he was bench pressing grown men all the way into the backfield about 5 or 6 yards. I mean, it was amazing. There was one play. He drove the center of the guard back, put him on his butt, and then dove over him to try to make a play on the quarterback. I haven't seen a dominant performance by a defensive lineman in a Seahawks uniform like this in a very long time. That was refreshing. It's Big Cat is doing his thing. And then young Kobe Bryant, man, so happy for this dude. 6 tackles, 1 pass defended, 1 interception. Of course, the 69-yard return for a touchdown. And he gave Marshawn Lynch some love during his little celebration. So the word on the street is Marshawn got fined, or Jameis Williams, or the receiver for the Detroit Lions. Yeah, he got fined $19,000 for doing that same celebration. So Kobe might have a little FedEx thing there.
Let's make a plea to the league. Come on, we're just having fun.
Come on now.
Just having fun. Let the boys play.
Let them play.
Let the boys play.
Let them play. But now Kobe's dope, man. He's the question was he going to be the guy with Jenkins coming back? And Jenkins still played. Jenkins played a decent game too. But Kobe got the start, and when they went to that 3 safety deal, that's when Jenkins came in. Kobe, man, earned himself a spot.
Defensively, I mean, that's a dream for a coach. You got 3 safeties who can play, and that's even without Kayvon Wallace, who played some good ball. Even Ty Akata has come in there and played some good ball in that 3 safety look. So in a position group that looked paper thin a couple weeks ago is now back to full strength. So good to see that. Then flipping over to the offense, Geno Smith, not a day that's going to wow you on the stat line. 22 of 31, 254 yards, the 1 touchdown, 1 interception I mentioned. He did lead that key 13-play drive that lasted 8 minutes, 13 seconds. You talk about ending games, talk about the 4-minute drill, trying to end the clock down. 8 minutes, 13 seconds, put all the pressure back on the Cardinals. And on that drive, he had 3 clutch third downs. He had the one where he eluded pressure, spun out, found DK in between 4 or 5 defenders. He audibled to the run that got Zach Charbonnet the first down on 3rd and 4. He connected with JSN early in the drive. So he made, yes, he did make that one big mistake, but he had so many other plays where he did the right thing, where he had good protection and didn't make a bad mistake. So he did a lot of good things. So good to see that for Geno Smith. If he can get rid of one of those turnovers, he'd have a great day.
Geno knows how to close things out. He's not going to be perfect, right? Quarterbacks, at the end of the game sometimes don't always execute.
Right.
But for the most part, when Geno has the football in his hands late in the game, you can count on him putting the team in a good position. And a lot of it is because of this young man, JSN. 6 receptions for 77 yards and 1 touchdown. He's already set a single-season career high with 67 receptions. He was 23 yards short of his 3rd straight 100-yard receiving game. That would have tied the club record that DK Metcalf set earlier this season. JSN is he's arrived. It's official. We need to see. What'd you say? 1 time, okay? 2 times, all right?
Yeah.
3 times? Yeah, it's official. He's got 3 or 4 big games so far this year. He looks comfortable, and it looks like Grubb is understanding how to use him now, too.
Right.
He understands who he is as a player.
Yeah, JSN was drafted in the 1st round for this reason. This is who everyone knew he could be, and I love that he's been able to show that 3 games in a row. Broadcasting live from the Seahawks podcast studio, presented by Sony, the official partner of the Seattle Seahawks. This NFL season, feel every play, every hit, every moment with the Sony 1000 XM5 noise-canceling headphones, the official headphones of the Seattle Seahawks. With premium noise cancellation, you're in the zone, no distractions, just pure football. Whether you're in your living room or on the go, you'll never miss a beat with Sony headphones. Sticking on the offensive side of the ball, Bump, Ken Walker. It wasn't, again, not a game that's going to be eye-popping with the stats. He had 93 total yards, 43 yards rushing, and 52 yards receiving. He did hurdle a guy.
You did?
Because he's Ken Walker.
It's
and
impressive.
Does Ken Walker things. And he's a guy that, man, he gets you when you don't have the play block for anything. He'll still get you 2 or 3 yards. So love to see Ken Walker going. I feel like the offense is getting closer to figuring out that run game. They're not quite there yet, but when you have a guy like Ken Walker, it's only a matter of time until he can really get things going.
He makes something out of nothing. He probably has 2 of the most athletic plays in the NFL this year. One where he dang near somersaulted over a guy.
Oh, yes.
And then this weekend jumping over a guy. Only one who has him is Saquon Barkley with the backwards jump. Come on. But K9 makes those plays, man. And it seems like he understands where the run game is. Like, you're almost there. He doesn't seem frustrated. He understands that it's a process, and they're moving in the right direction. Eventually, he's going to have himself a big game. Let's go over to defense. Ernest Jones, 10 tackles, 5 solo, led the team in tackles. I want to say he's led the team in tackles every game he's played for the Seahawks. So let's go get, man. Ernest Jones getting down here. I love watching the film on this defense with him there. The gap integrity is on point. He's meeting force with force. He's getting hands on guys. Ernest Jones is leading this defense.
What an acquisition, man.
Yeah.
It just completely different level of play from him. And now you got the young guy, Tyrese Knight, who is playing phenomenal football as well. So love to see that. He had 9 tackles, 1 QB hit, 1 TFL, got his first career sack. So definitely love the young fella getting that done. He's been playing good football. And this defense, we talked about it, just looks different. And Paul Moyer talked about it a lot in the postgame show last night. This looks sustainable, how they're doing it, the teams they did it against. 3 good teams who have given you trouble. The Rams, we lost that game, but the defense only gave up 13 points in regulation. The 49ers have given you fits for 3 years now. Then you take down the Cardinals. So cool to see that going on. Bump, let's talk about the receivers.
All right, let's talk about him. Jason, like I mentioned, 6 receptions, 77 yards on 7 targets, and a touchdown, a long of 46. DK, a quiet game, but not. There's 2 big third downs. To start the game, there's a big third down he picked up, and then towards the end, a big third down. He had 4 for 59, a long of 29. Kenneth Walker had 4 for 52, a long of 21. Tyler Lockett, 2 for 20, a big third down as well. Farrell Brown, 2 for 19, 1 big boy catch. 1 big boy. Physical sideline. It was so physical. I thought it was DK for a second. I go, that got to be DK, right? Nah, that was Farrell Brown on that sideline making some noise. AJ Barner had 3 for 19, and Jake Bobo had 1 for 8. As a group, they averaged 11.5 per reception, 254 yards.
Yep, definitely good showing from those guys again. Love when you spread the wealth. A lot of guys out here making plays. We've talked about it earlier. This was without question the play of the game that really put the Seahawks in control. Kobe Bryant picking off Kyler Murray on 4th and 1, running it back for a 69-yard touchdown.
At the 40, Murray under center this time. Play fake. Murray's going to try to get it. He's going to run far side. He's going to dump it over the top. Intercepted. Kobe Bryant. Far sideline. He's got some blockers. 30, 25, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown! Seahawks! No flags. Kobe Bryant on a huge mistake. I beg your pardon. Flag is down far sidelines in front of the Arizona bench. But I don't think that's going to take a touchdown off the board, as Kobe Bryant was ready for the roll to the right side by Kyler Murray. Murray floats it up, overthrows the tight end. Bryant picks it off.
Okay, the touchdown is good.
Just be where you're supposed to be, and good things are going to happen. Do your job. But I think you got to give big ups to Spoon here, man. You got Kyler Murray, he's under center. He fakes the handoff, rolling to the right side. Michael Wilson is attached to the line of scrimmage, kind of like a tight end. He engages with Tyrese Knight, then he hits the flat. So Spoon sees that Kyler Murray's rolling to the right. He just jets right to him. And then Tyrese Knight almost got caught up in like the gray area. He didn't know what to do. Do I run with Michael Wilson or do I help out with Murray? Thankfully, the pressure from Spoon forces Murray to float one over the top, and then Kobe Bryant gets an early Christmas gift, and he turns on the Jets, gets to the house. Big salute to Beast Mode. And like I said, I was in the end zone with the people, just showing some love. Really happy for Kobe Bryant, but this is a big play. The Hawks needed this play. The game was tight at the moment, and Kobe Bryant coming up big.
Kobe, you mentioned it. Right place, right time. Love that. Devin Witherspoon, he made this play happen on two fronts.
Yeah.
So, for one, he's crashing down in that gap to play the run there, realizes it's not, and not many people can spin around like he did, back to the quarterback, then close on a guy like Kyler Murray who has that type of speed, who runs like, I don't know, what is like a 4.3, 4.2? I don't know what it was, but
easy
it's fast.
4.3.
And he closes on him. He causes that. Then, once the interception happens, he's not just celebrating. Then he gets his butt down there, takes out two guys, running down, sets up the game-sealing block for Kobe Bryant to run it in the end zone. Devin Witherspoon, the motor that man has, not many people in the league can play with it. We've seen it from day one. Can't count how many different plays we've seen that type of effort for 21.
Yeah.
He plays at a different speed than most people do in the NFL, and that's saying something because we're talking about the best athletes in the world.
Another two things. Kobe, thank you for getting some run after the catch, because the last interception you had, sir, he went down, and he mentioned it during the post game. He goes, teammates were on me a little bit for going down. But he said he was tired, so I understand it. But it's nice for him to go get it. And then, two, that's the most emotion I've seen from Mike McDonald all year.
Oh, he was hyped.
He was hyped, man, and rightfully so. So, big play in the game, and couldn't have happened to a better person.
No, love it from Kobe, especially everything he's gone through since he's been here. To see him balling out the way he's doing, love to see it from him. Broadcasting live from the Seahawks podcast studio, presented by Sony, the official partner of the Seattle Seahawks, and that'll bring us to our favorite formation. We've had it 2 weeks in a row, victory formation.
Here comes the Seahawk offense onto the field, and the Vikings defense trudging out there, knowing that one kneel down, and the Seahawks are going to wind the clock down and win this one.
It's the victory formation on Hawk Talk.
Wasn't the prettiest bump, but I say this all the time. You never apologize for wins in the National Football League. The Seahawks got it done, and me being a defensive guy, I like that stuff because it is so much fun to watch a game with your team when they're getting stops on defense. When every time third down comes up, you know they're going to get them off the field. Love to see that. Seahawks defense, they balled out. Held the Cardinals out of the end zone for the first time this season. Coming into the game, the Cardinals were on a 4-game winning streak, and they were averaging 26 points a game during that span. Only scored 6 on Sunday.
And they shut down the run, man. 49 yards on 14 carries is crazy, man. Like we mentioned, the Cardinals were the 5th-ranked running offense in the game. We knew that was going to be a point of emphasis. Right. All year, you got New England rushing for $185 on you. Seemed like everybody's going over 100, but then you start to chip away, break things down, make some roster moves, bring in some new linebackers, new defensive line. And when Mike McDonald was with the Ravens, it took him like 8 to 10 weeks to get that defense going.
Yeah.
Here we go. Right. It's resembling what's going on over there. Still a lot to do, but you got to be happy about that. And you also held the Cardinals to 3 of 12 on third downs. That means you're stopping these drives and making things frustrating for them.
Yeah, winning football. And to play winning football, you got to have guys like Leonard Williams. Big cat, game of his life, at least in a Seahawks uniform.
Man.
6 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 3 TFLs, 4 QB hits, 1 pass defended. That dude was on another planet. And I'm hoping that was good enough kind of a coming out party to get him the recognition he deserves, because he has been playing at an all-pro type level all season long. And now with the linebackers and the front seven all playing together, you're getting to see him show that more. So I love to see that. And then on offense, wasn't their prettiest game by any means, but when they needed it, they came up big. Final drive, taking 8 minutes, 12 seconds off the clock, converting on a clutch 3 times, 3 third downs, keep those chains moving.
It's all about those third downs. They started off 1 for 5 on third downs. They finished 7 of 14. So there was some progress there. And the Seahawks are now back in sole possession of first place in the NFC West. 49ers lost, Rams lost. Thank you, Saquon. Thank you, Jordan Love, for helping your boys out, man. So let's go get it.
Yeah, no, the Seahawks are right where they want to be. They control their destiny moving forward. They have a game against the Jets we're going to get ready for on Wednesday this week. The Jets, they've had their issues, but when you look at their roster, I tell you, they have guys that can make plays.
Yeah, they do.
Seahawks got them. They got those Cardinals back in 2 weeks. So Seahawks are in a great shape. They're 6-5. Bump said it. They're leading the NFC West. Make sure you watch us on YouTube on the Seahawks Press Pass channel, also on Apple Podcasts, Sirius XM, and more. This has been fun, Bump. I love talking about Seahawks wins.
Sir.
It's been 2 weeks in a row, so hoping we can get that done. We'll preview the Jets game later this week. This has been Hawk Talk. He's Michael Bumpus. I'm Nasser Kyobe. We will talk to you next time.